following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. It's time now for Casey's Take on Sports, a unique and personal take on the world of sports, both local and regional. Now, here's your host, the sports reporter for the Dickson Post and Cheatham County Exchange. It's Casey Patrick.
Good morning. How y'all doing? We've actually changed locations again. I'm back in my room, but we got plenty of stuff to go over right now. Of course, with our takes, the first one we're going to get into NBA playoffs. The take is NBA playoffs are on with a question mark. And then second take, Vols baseball can't have fun. They're not allowed to. And then third take, we're going to talk a little bit about A.J. Brown and his contract situation. And then, of course, fourth take is going to be high school sports. We're going to have a few little breaks in there, but y'all stay with us, stick around, and check out the show. Now, I will say the other day, whenever I sent these takes in, at first I didn't really care too much that the playoffs were on. I knew they were on, but it wasn't really like something I was going out of my way to catch, right? It just felt like the same old basketball games were being played. But my attention started to shift, yesterday, when Memphis boat raced, the Timberwolves. I had a brain fart for a minute. I almost forgot. But when last night, whenever Memphis really, John Morant was really on fire, and they were able to pull away, and of course they had the video of Jaw's daughter dancing on the jumbotron and stuff like that. Memphis was really rocking. I mean, and that was a great environment for a basketball game. Of course, it gets my Twitter feed going because you have a lot of shared interest. So, like, I'm a Braves fan. I'm from Tennessee. A lot of the things that I see, even though, like, I may not be the biggest Memphis fan, and I'm really not, I do like seeing John Morant succeed and Jaren Jackson and a lot of those guys. And if anybody's going to win, I'd just soon it be Memphis. But I'm not the biggest Grizzlies fan, and it's the same thing with the Nashville soccer team. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, especially of the team here, but since there's so many people that I follow on Twitter or they follow me, and that's the kind of information that's getting thrown around on my Twitter feed. That's how I can usually tell that something is going on and something's actually fun to keep up with. And that was the first time I really started to see it shift, because at first it was kind of boring. I mean, I went to Applebee's. I go to Applebee's like every Sunday night. Me and my cousin, we'll go up there, and I've got a friend of mine that he's the bartender up there, and we go up there and hang out with him. And while we were sitting there, I think the Golden State game was on, and it was cool to watch. I like Golden State. I'm the biggest bandwagon Golden State fan you could ever imagine. A few years ago, whenever they first started, making it to the finals and whooping up on LeBron that first time, that was actually really fun to watch, I thought. But, here lately, the playoffs hadn't really felt all that much fun. But, like I said, last night, John Morant, I guess he's just got that thing about him. John Morant's just that kind of guy that he'll make you want to watch basketball. And it does. It makes me want to keep up with Memphis a little bit more. But I'll be honest, I don't really care much about keeping up with the rest of the playoffs. And I don't know if 7 games is too much for a series, because you play the NBA playoffs are so long. They're so long. But we're going to kind of see how this goes. hopefully, like I said, Memphis will be able to continue to do well and continue to play and move on through the playoffs. I don't think Golden State's going to go anywhere. I will say that Celtics finished the other night was pretty good. Jason Tatum with his layup finger roll right as the clock expired. That was a pretty big moment. And good for Jason Tatum. I like him too. He's a good baller. But I don't know. I feel like there's not enough. Maybe there's not enough advertisement going into it, or maybe the regular season's just so long, or the playoffs are so long that it just kind of feels boring or watered down. I don't know. Maybe too many teams are in the playoffs. Maybe that's why it feels watered down. I don't know. Just to me. Maybe I'm different. Maybe you feel different. Follow me at CVP51 and let me know if you disagree on Twitter. But, okay, our second take, Vols Baseball, can't have fun. But first, we're going to have a break. Y'all just stay here, watch these commercials. They're not that bad. And then come back and check out the second take.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Nobody covers high school sports like Main Street Preps, bringing you hyper-local coverage of the teams and athletes in your backyard. Wherever your Main Street is, we've got a podcast for you. From the Sumner County Sports Podcast with Zach Womble, Casey's Take on Sports with Dickson Post and Cheatham County Exchange's sports reporter Casey Patrick, the MSP North Podcast with Brady McAtamney and Blaine Keller covering Montgomery and Robertson counties, to Main Street Preps this week with Russell Venozzi and Tyler Palmatier with a macro view of prep sports in Middle Tennessee. Find the latest prep sports news from your Main Street at mainstreetpreps.com and find these podcasts dropping weekly on these Main Street media social platforms and wherever you get your podcasts. Now, back to Casey's Take on Sports. Here's Casey Patrick.
Thanks for hanging out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get into that second take. We're going to talk a little Vols baseball right here. I love the music. So I wrote an opinion article like this in the last two papers I did, the Dickson Post and the Cheatham Exchange. But it was about basically, I believe his name was Jeffrey Macias, was the third base umpire that he threw out the pitching coach first, because he, of course, the pitching coach, I think he did kind of overreact. I'm pretty sure it was Chase Dollander that got hit with a comebacker. And our pitching coach didn't like the way the Alabama bench reacted. So he started, jawing at them, even though there really was no need for that. I mean, you're not aiming at the pitcher. It's hard enough to hit the baseball, much less aim it right at the pitcher. So I felt like the pitching coach was a little upset and emotional in that moment, and that's fine. He got thrown out. That's okay. Vitello goes out there and he kind of defends his guy. All that's all good and well. And then Macias threw him out, and Vitello chest bumped him. You can't do that. That's why he's been suspended for four games at that point. You can't do that if you're Vitello. You just can't. You can't touch the umpires. As much as Lord knows, umpires, referees, and officials can get under your skin. You just can't touch them. You just can't. And, Vitello kind of did cross the line there, and he's going to pay the price for it. He fined $25,000, I think. But all that being said, the event's over, whatever. Well, Tennessee offense starts to take over at that point. Everybody knows the deal. They know the routine. You hit the ball over the fence, you get the daddy hat, you get the fur coat. They're walking, into the dugout, and Macias says no. He puts a stop to that too. This whole take isn't just about Jeffrey Macias, or it's more or less about the entire, and this is, like I said, this is what I wrote on that opinion article. It's more or less, this is about the entire argument, I guess, for or against having fun. Now I get that some baseball teams, and you can consider the Vols to be one, they kind of dance around that line, right? There's a gray area. But the reason why there's a gray area is because different regions of the world celebrate the game differently. I understand that in South America, and this is exactly what I wrote in that article, in South America, they have a party for baseball games. And every time they hit a home run, I mean, there's bat flips and there's music and people having a good time, and it's exciting, and nobody ever gets disrespected. Everybody, I mean, it's just the way they play. But again, at the same time, if you watch, I believe it's a few years ago, when COVID was really bad and ESPN was showing, I think it was the Korean Baseball League. I may be completely wrong there. I think it was Korean Baseball League. The Asian players won't spit on their own field. I mean, they consider it like a holy ground, and they won't spit on it. So, like, if their opinion of the sport is respecting it to that level, and, in South America, you have people bat flipping everything, that gray area becomes really large. Because something you may not have an issue with, somebody else has an issue with. Or something that you take issue with, nobody else has an issue with. You can't find a resonating opinion that everybody's okay with, because everybody's so different when it comes to the game. And like I said, I understand, maybe sometimes when the Vols, they hit a home run and they're running around the bases, they probably don't need to holler into the opposing dugout. There are certain things that I agree, maybe whatever, that's fine. But when are we going to stop people from having fun playing this game? I mean, these kids, they throw on the hat and the fur coat when they're 5 foot away from the dugout, and then they walk through the rest of the dugout, and it's them and their buddies. And we're telling college kids, oh, hey, you know what? You just did one of the hardest things in sports, to hit a 90-plus mile-an-hour baseball, hit it on the fat part of a bat, and hit it 400 foot. You did one of the hardest things you can do in all of sports. you can't celebrate it. You're going to walk your happy rear end over there into the dugout. You're going to sit down, and you're not going to say anything to anybody. And I just feel like that's not the way to go. I don't really agree with that. Now, like I said, I mean, there's definitely a gray area there, and there may be some things that Tennessee or even some other teams have done that you feel like it crosses a line. But that's why everything's so arbitrary, and it's hard to really put anything to it. But anyway, that's about all the time I got for that. I could talk all day long on that one. But y'all hang out here. Like I said, we're going to get to the third take. We got to talk a little A.J. Brown. All right, so y'all stick around. I was actually going to talk about the draft. And I'm going to give you a little rundown of things, how this works. I send all of my takes to JP, the guy's voice that you hear at the beginning of the show. I send all of my takes to him, and then he'll put up the little letters. You see him right there in the bottom. And apparently I completely forgot to put in my third take. I was just going to talk NBA playoffs and Vols baseball apparently and be done with it, which I could have talked Vols baseball the rest of the day, but that's neither here nor there. But as soon as we got on the pre-show meeting, he asked me, he said, what's your third take? And I was like, I put it there. And I went to go look at it, and I said, no, I didn't put it there. So I was just trying to scramble for an idea, and I thought about the NFL draft. But then a thing popped up on my phone. A buddy of mine texted me, and he said, Deebo Samuel requested a trade. And I know that a lot of people are kind of grouping him, A.J. Brown, and DK Metcalf together in these these conversations about contracts, disputes, stuff like that. And I know AJ just took the Titans out of his bio on Twitter or something. I don't know. I mean, I used to kind of know what was happening, but honestly, these professional athletes are younger than me now, so I don't really know how their brain works. But listen, Titans fans, if I'm going to tell you one thing, I'm just going to tell you, breathe, calm down. I know that some things that John Robinson have done, they just did not work. The one that comes to mind is the offensive lineman from Georgia, Fat Panda, or whatever his name was. I even forget what his real name was. I get that was a bad decision. That was a mistake. But most of the stuff that John Robinson's done as general manager, they've helped the Titans, and he's done a really good job. So I know that his stance is that he wants to keep A.J. Brown around here forever. I agree. I'm a huge A.J. Brown fan. I hope the kid gets healthy, but I feel like he's going to be a Titan. I don't think this is something that anybody needs to fret over. The one part I do want to blame the Jacksonville Jaguars real quick, because they started giving absurd amounts of money to mediocre wide receiver. Mediocre is not a good word, okay? I'm an obese, unathletic. I'm kind of athletic, but I'm a fat guy that I'm not in the NFL, so it's not right for me to say that about receivers. But these guys are not top-tier receivers. They're just not. And Jaguars gave them all kinds of money. So that means for the actually really good receivers, you're going to have to cough up some coin. So Tyreek Hill's making like $30+ million. I don't know how much A.J. Brown's going to make, but it's going to be a lot. But I do feel like the Titans are going to give him that money. So Titans fans, don't fret. All is well. A.J. Brown will be just fine. And if you had to put money on it, I'd say he's going to be a Titan. At least through this, after this first contract. But we're actually going to take us another little quick break real quick. Y'all hang out with us. And then we'll be here whenever we get back, right after these commercials. Thank you.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
From preps to pros, Main Street Sports Today has you covered. Weekdays live at 2 p.m. Central on all of these Main Street media outlets. Tune in weekdays with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao, and producer JP Plant as they talk preps to pros and all things in between. Coming up on this Thursday edition, as always, the Team of the Week, the Player of the Week, and this day in Braves history, and so much more. It's on Main Street Sports Today, weekdays live at 2 p.m. on all these Main Street media outlets and wherever you get your podcasts. Now, back to the man with the take. Here's Casey Patrick.
All right. And, hey, we just got one more take. And, of course, this is everybody's favorite. We got high school sports, so hang out right here for the fourth take. All right, a lot of action going on in high school sports. It's almost it's impossible to keep up with all of it. I mean, we got everything from tennis to track and field going on, baseball and softball going on. I was at 4 games last week. I'll be at probably 5 games this week and that's just baseball, softball, and then a soccer game on Thursday. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Middle school baseball going on. I don't know what that was. I felt like something just fell in my room. But middle school baseball, of course, is middle school softball as well is kind of going hard right now. And I think honestly right now you're getting really into the stretch of the baseball season and softball season. And those coaches really want to see their players and their teams really start to gel and get going. Man, I was at the Harpeth Cheatham game Monday, and that one got ugly quick. I think Harpeth scored 8 runs in the first inning, and then 11 runs in the second inning. Something did fall, and I don't know what it is. I have no clue. I don't care. I've probably got a ghost in my room. He may be mad. He's probably a LeBron fan. I have Michael Jordan on my TV screen. But Harpeth wound up winning that game 27-0. I mean, it was pretty rough. They played again Tuesday night, and then let's see, Wednesday night tonight we're going to have some softball. Harpeth and Cheatham play each other, which will be fun. I don't think I've been able to catch a Cheatham softball game yet. Coach Garrett's going to be mad at me when she does see me because I haven't been there yet. But I'm going to go out there tonight and watch some softball. let's see. I think track and field is in the sub-state part, or maybe it's just section or not sectionals, regionals. Man, I can't keep up with all of it. But anyway, track and field is in the playoffs right now. I know Dickson County's got some athletes that are breaking some school records, so that's going to be something that we're going to try. I'm going to do my best to try and keep up with, make sure and get everybody, let everybody know what's going on. I talked to Coach Hickerson the other day. So he's going to help me and get me some info so I can get these kids in the paper, get them the recognition they deserve. Also let you guys and girls in on, some astounding accomplishments that these kids are able to do. So, track and field, soccer, baseball, softball, tennis, man, it's all going. It's all going, and it's going fast right now. And we've got the all-county basketball team. I was going to try and run that in Dickson last week, but had a little bit of trouble securing stats. So, going to get all that done. That'll be in next week's Dickson Post, the all-county boys basketball team, so make sure you check that out. Of course, last week, the one in Cheatham went through. Aiden Williams was named MVP. It was a close battle between him and Tucker Carter. Tucker Carter, a junior from Cheatham, had a great year. He averaged 17 points a game. I think Aiden averaged like 16 and a half or something. But anyway, right now, it is so busy. It is so busy. It's hard to keep up with everything that's going on. But we're going to try and do our best here at Main Street. We're going to try and do everything we can. I know my photographers are out at 4 or 5 games a week. I'm at 4 or 5 games a week. These papers are absolutely stacked full of photos and information, keeping up with stuff. So make sure you check out the Dickson Post, Cheatham County Exchange. But man, thank y'all for checking out the show today. I felt like it was a pretty good one. It took me longer to set up my gear here and find a good photo to throw on the TV than it did to come up with the ideas. But thanks for checking out Casey's Take. I love this. I enjoy this. I like being in front of the camera. I like talking. But if there's anything you think I can work on, follow me at CVP51. I'm getting closer. I'm getting better at that. Follow me at CVP51 on Twitter. Let me know what you think. Argue with me. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right. It don't matter. But thank y'all, and y'all have a wonderful evening.
This has been Casey's Take on Sports with the Dickson Post and Cheatham County Exchange sports reporter Casey Patrick. Follow him on Twitter at CVP51 and always online at MainStreetPreps.com. Casey's Take on Sports is a Main Street Media production.